Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to talk about my final prediction for Miss South Africa 2024. I cannot believe that Miss South Africa is literally this close to being crowned, and after all of the drama that has recently happened when it comes to Miss South Africa, I am just so happy that we've come to this point well and alive, and that we get to talk about my final prediction despite all of the things that have been coming out and happening with regards to Chidimma. But for those of you who don't know, Chidimma Adetshina unfortunately had to withdraw because some shady things that her mom did 23 years ago sort of came out. They are not necessarily on the legal side, if you know what I mean. I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, it was a whole thing that I don't really want to reiterate. I did make a whole video about that, so feel free to go and watch that. But with that being said, Chidimma is out. Forget everything that you learned in episode 6 of Crown Chasers also, because it has been revealed that both Kirsten and Kebalepile were given a free pass into the top 10 because Chidimma did withdraw. And the Miss South Africa organization also did something that I did not expect them to do. They actually said that everyone who went and voted for either Kebalepile or Kirsten would be refunded, since both of them are going to be ending up in the top 10 anyway. So I'm so proud, actually. Can I just mention, I'm actually kind of proud about how Miss South Africa has been handling this whole situation, because let's not forget it was them in the first place who initiated this whole investigation into Chidimma. So they do definitely care about the ethics of their business, the rules of their business, especially the ones concerning citizenship. So kudos to the Miss South Africa organization for handling this whole situation with the most grace possible, I suppose. With that being said, this is a positive video, positive vibes only. We are going to be talking about my top 10, since I'm not going to be going to Miss South Africa in person this year, as I actually plan to do because of some very positive personal things that are happening in my life, leaving me unable to travel abroad currently. I am going to actually do something very radical and ranking the girls from 10 to 1. And I'm only doing this because I'm not going to go there and catch any hands from anyone's family, and so I do feel safe to do this, okay? This is our safe space, you guys know. This is basically just me and 9,700 of my closest friends. At number 10, I have 27-year-old Lebohang, who has a BA degree in performing arts and media. Now, I don't have anything necessarily awful to say about Lebohang. Honestly, if you are able to make it to the top 10 at Miss South Africa, which is one of the most competitive pageants I think in the world, then you already know that you're amazing. Everybody already knows that you're amazing. At this point, it's so difficult to rank these women. But I must say, unfortunately, throughout the past few weeks, Lebohang just hasn't been standing out to me. In the last episode, they were talking about how she did perform amazingly on camera, but I don't have any notes on Lebohang because she never really did anything wrong necessarily, but she never was in the top, and she faded into the background. The same with my number 9, Ontshiametse, who is an insurance claims and customer care specialist. I just do not think that Ontshiametse has the X factor to be Miss South Africa. I may be wrong, you know, I would be very happy for her if she did place very high or even win. But for me, similarly to Lebohang, she just sort of faded into the background. Now, I know this wasn't the case for everybody. There are some of you who have been telling me that you are great supporters of Ontshiametse, and all power to you. It's just, in my opinion, she really just hasn't been standing out as much as some of the other women. At number 8, I have Kirsten Khan, who is 26. Now, you guys know that I used to be the biggest fan of Kirsten, okay? I used to be a Kirsten super stan in the beginning when the top 30 was announced. And even before that, when I saw her entry video, I just love Kirsten. She sort of reminds me of Tamarind Green. She's stunning. She photographs beautifully. One of my biggest gripes with her throughout Crown Chasers, however, was her confidence. I don't feel like it is where it ought to be or where it could be. I mean, if I looked like that, guys, I'd be unstoppable. I'd be unstoppable. I don't know why Kirsten is so, I don't know, she seems sort of unconfident, but maybe that's just her personality. She does seem sort of demure and soft-spoken, but I do not think that that is the best way to go when competing at Miss South Africa. Miss South Africa, to me, is a very dynamic woman. That is something that all our best or latest Miss South Africas, I should say, have in common, and I just don't feel like Kirsten has that right now. At number 7, I have Palesa, who is a social media manager. Palesa has, in my opinion, the best speaking skills out of all of the Miss South Africa contestants this year. Palesa is an incredible speaker. When it comes to styling and things like that, however, I just do not think that she compares with some of the girls higher on my list. I don't know what it is exactly, but I do know that Palesa is an amazing speaker. So if she does manage to get into that top 5, some of the other girls are going to be in trouble because this woman can speak. I've just never seen Palesa serve a look where I was blown away. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that she's lacking. At number 6, I have Kebalepile, who is 25 years old and holds a BA degree in psychology. Oh my gosh, guys, for me, when it was first announced that we would have to be choosing between Kirsten and Kebalepile for the top 10, I was stressed out because I do like both of them for different reasons. But honestly, after considering everything, taking everything into consideration, I must say that I love Kebalepile. Okay, I love Kebalepile. I do feel like somewhere Kebalepile does have Miss South Africa vibes. She does have what it takes. She has the confidence, she has personality overload, she has the looks. I like Kebalepile, and if she doesn't win this year, I would not mind seeing her on the Miss South Africa stage again, because there's just something in her. She has like this sort of sparkle that just, it's giving Miss South Africa in a way. At number 5, I have Taahira, who is 25 years old and an international model. Now, I've mentioned, I think in the last and second to last episode of Crown Chasers, that I don't really see Taahira as the Miss South Africa, although I do see her as a top contender for the title of Miss South Africa. She just does not bring everything to the table. She's just not polished like some of the other women higher on this list. But although I do feel like Taahira is a great contender. After all, she was in the top 3 of one episode of Crown Chasers. Obviously, there's something special about her. Her photographs seem to come out very beautifully. I just do not feel like Taahira brings everything to the table that a Miss South Africa should bring, especially when it comes to the way that she talks about herself and her mindset. I do feel like, I've mentioned this before in some of the Crown Chasers reviews, every time she talks about herself, it seems to skew very negative, especially in that one episode where she was talking about her weight and the fact that she gained some weight. And even if that's the case, even if she does feel fat and she does feel like she gained the weight, in her own words, she said that she felt fat. I don't think that it's a good idea to say things like that, knowing that there are young girls and women in general and people in general watching, knowing that you still look like a 10 out of 10. Okay, let's be for real. She might have gained 7 kilograms, but she is still a perfectly natural, healthy looking woman. And for her to place such emphasis on her weight gain and the fact that she feels fat as if it's a bad thing to gain some weight when you're perfectly healthy, I just don't feel like that's a good thing to put out there. Some people might disagree. I just do not think that that is necessary. And it's not a good thing to put out into the world knowing that there are probably, easily influenceable young people watching. And as a Miss South Africa, you should know that. At number 4, I have Layla, who is 29 years old and a conservative fashion designer of Lebanese descent. She's also a single mother with 2 children. I believe she was divorced. And you know what? I freaking love the way that Layla looks. She is stunning. She was one of my favorite coming out of Top 30 Judging Day, just because I love the way she spoke there. She was in the top 3 for Crown Chasers twice, I believe. We didn't get to hear her speaking a lot on Crown Chasers, but I do believe that Layla is a good speaker. So we'll have to see how she does. I'm excited to see how Layla will fare at Miss South Africa this year, knowing that she's like the only mother competing pretty much since Chidimma has withdrawn. At number 3, guys, I have Onalenna Constantine, who is 26 years old. Now, a lot of you seem to think that 2 things can't be true at once, because I have been calling out slightly over the course of Crown Chasers for her remarks on men and the very seemingly low opinion that she seems to hold on men. We've subsequently found out that she has endured some horrific traumas, like absolutely tragic things at the hands of men. But still, I do not think that it's necessary for her to say the things that she has, because I don't want to be that person, but not all men, you know what I mean? And I like Onalenna. I do think that she's stunning, she's beautiful, she is an absolute machine on the runway, and I've liked her from the very beginning. It's just some of her opinions are quite startling to me, but we'll have to see how she does. Just because I disagree with some things that she says and some opinions that she holds doesn't mean that I don't see Onalenna as a very strong contender for the Miss South Africa crown, and that's on nuance. At number 2, so as my first runner-up, guys, I have Mia Leroux, who is 29 years old and a marketing manager. Oh, I can't help but smile whenever I think about this woman, because she just has grown to be everything in my eyes. I adore Mia. She's deaf. She's a deaf candidate. And she's just actually even also the funniest person ever. She cracks some jokes on Crown Chasers and during the Top 30 Judging Day. She's just so cute, you just got to love Mia. During the course of Crown Chasers, she was in the top 3 twice, and she also won 2 separate episodes as well. She was also in the bottom 3 once, but honestly, I just think that Mia is an amazing candidate. She has a great, stunning, beautiful, sparkling personality, and I just adore Mia. So obviously from that, you guys can gather that my predicted winner, or the woman that I low-key hope will win, is Nompumelelo Maduna, who is 29 years old and a social media manager. Now, Nompumelelo was actually previously in the top 5 back in 2019 when Zozi Bini Tunzi won Miss South Africa. So obviously I'm expecting a top 5 placement for her. Come on. But also, another reason why I am expecting a top 5 placement, or a really, really high placement for our girl Nompumelelo, is because she absolutely slayed Crown Chasers. It was really giving Natasha Joubert from last year. She was the standout girl at Crown Chasers this year. And what I mean by that is she actually won 3 Crown Chasers episode. Keep in mind, there were 5 that they had like top 3 and winner for the episode in. She won 3 of them, and then for the other 2, she was in the top 3.
All I'm gonna say is,
Yo.
I don't see any crumbs once again. She left no crumbs. Standard procedure.
Nompumelelo is just that girl. She's just that girl. I adore Nompumelelo. For me, she brings just everything to the table. I have no doubt that Nompumelelo would be an amazing Miss South Africa. I have not seen one red flag, not one red flag, which is something that I'm so happy about for this year's Miss South Africa pageant. Let's be honest, Nompumelelo is just everything, and I'm, you know what, if she wins, I'll be low-key sad for not being there in person, because I have never been this positive about a Miss South Africa contestant, I think, ever, because Nompumelelo, to me, she has no flaws. The flaws, where are they? Point to the flaws, please, because to me, she just has none. Let me know what you guys think. I know some of you are going to be disagreeing somewhere, somehow, but to me, I just think that, you know, looking at the stats, the facts, using logic, we can determine that Nompumelelo is just that girl, okay? Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next